So let's go ahead and get started with learning about the interface. So if this is the very first time that you've ever opened up 3ds Max, the interface can be a little overwhelming. So what we're going to do is we're going to break things down into manageable chunks. So that way, as we progress throughout this course, you'll know exactly where we need to go to get certain tools. So let's start right up here at the top. Here we have the menu bar. The menu bar is going to hold a lot of the different operations and functions that are similar in most pieces of software. Some of those are things like file save, file open, and you could even import or export files from 3ds Max here. Now, there are lots of other menu items that we could go in, and it's important to know that a lot of those menu items also have accesses right here inside of the viewport itself. So let's move on into the toolbar. The toolbar right here holds a lot of the different tools inside of 3ds Max, and it gives us quick access to a lot of those. So some of the tools that are going to be more important for us are going to be the transform tools, like the move, rotate, and scale. Now, beyond the toolbar, we have the ribbon. Now, the ribbon is not always visible, and you can turn it on and off by hitting this toggle right here. Now, beyond the modeling ribbon, we have the Scene Explorer. The Scene Explorer is going to give you a list-style format of all of the objects in your scene. Now, because we don't have any objects in our scene, we won't see anything in this list, but I assure you we will see some of those very soon. Now, beyond the Scene Explorer, we have the viewports. The viewports give you your window into your 3D scene. This is where we're going to be doing most of our work. We're going to place 3D primitives, and we're going to be modifying those, and we'll be creating exactly what we have in mind. Now, from here, we have the command panel. The command panel is made up of different tabs. So we have the create panel, and we have the modify panel, the hierarchy panel, motion, and we have display and utilities. So moving on from the command panel, let's take a look at the track bar. The track bar is where all of our frames and keyframes are held for animation. Now, we'll be talking more about this later on. Below this, we have the status bar, and the status bar holds things like the transform type-ins, where we could actually move, rotate, or scale an object based on the X, Y, and Z axes, and we could give a very specific value to those different axes. Now, from here, we have the time controls for the animation, and the time controls will allow you to play back that track bar. Okay, and you could play it in real time, and you could step forward by frame, you could go to the end or back to the beginning, and you could even type in a specific frame that you would like to go to. Now, you also have some options that you can open up as well and start configuring exactly how you want your animation to appear. Things like frame rate and things like that. Then we also have the animation controls, and this is where you will be able to create keyframes, and you could create them in a manual format or an automatic format. Now, again, we'll be talking more about this in the animation section of this course. And then finally, we have the viewport navigation tools. The viewport navigation tools are going to be a way that we can navigate inside of the viewport itself, but I like to use the keyboard and mouse format of doing that, and let's go ahead and talk about how that is done next.